welcome to a brand new episode of Facts vs Myths. I'm Rishika Barua. Two COVID-19 waves have helped bring health as a primary focus area for most people. It is important for society to learn the right kind of lessons so that we can take steps to prevent or be better prepared for future COVID-19 waves. The COVID-19 pandemic had a big impact on the healthcare system all over the world. While dealing with COVID, we overlooked the fact that people's lifestyles were severely disrupted. As a result of this, metabolic problems have become very common. It's also important for people with diabetes and heart disease, for instance, to understand how to better manage their conditions at home. Learning how to control your diabetes or your heart disease will save money and time and help you have perhaps fewer emergencies and even fewer hospital visits. Today we have two experts to share advice with you on diabetes and its management. Dr. Anupam Shah, Chief Cardiologist at the Ashwini Super Speciality Hospital, Solapur, joins us, and Dr. Jyotish Nair, who is also a PG Diploma in Diabetes and MD in General Medicine, diabetologist from the Apollo Adlux Hospital, joins us from Kochi in Kerala. Thank you both very much for being with us on this special show. Dr. Nair, if I can begin by asking you, as we know, all people who do suffer from diabetes are more prone to COVID-19. Is this the case with every infection? Are people with diabetes more prone to every known infection?
In fact, we do not have enough evidence to say that a diabetic patient is more likely to get COVID infection. But it is true that once a person with diabetes develops a COVID infection, he is more likely to develop complications, go into severe illness and even death. But this is more so in a patient with an uncontrolled diabetes, a patient with complications of diabetes, or a person with other illnesses along with diabetes. And this is also true for most of the viral infections. But there are some infections like pneumococcal infection which is more likely to develop in a diabetic person. It is not true for all the viral infections, but it may be true for some of the bacterial infections as well as some of the fungal infections. Most of the diabetic patients who are well controlled do not have this increased risk. It is more so for those patients with uncontrolled diabetes, complications of diabetes and other illnesses along with diabetes.
Right. Heart diseases perhaps are the most common lifestyle related disease, and has perhaps the number of heart attacks increased. Dr. Shah, during the pandemic, what's your assessment been?
Heart disease is a disease of lifestyle along with risk factors. During the pandemic, we saw significant rise in number of heart attacks. The rise in number of heart attacks were almost to the tune of double the number of patients because of the increased thrombotic tendency in the people who have corona disease. In these people, there is also a significant rise in incidence of pulmonary thromboembolism. Pulmonary thromboembolism means there is a clot in the lungs of the patient due to increased clot formation, and this clot is most likely to be transmitted from the lower limbs. This is also a significant high-risk disease. During the pandemic, we had other problems as well. During the pandemic, because of lack of beds, lack of transportation and patients' resistance to go to the doctors, there was increased risk to the patient, and the mortality of patients who had heart attack was much higher, twice when compared to the normal population. During pandemic, the bed availability was a big issue. The health infrastructure was not able to cope up with this amount of patients. Hence, patients got delayed in getting admitted or did not get admitted because of the fear of pandemic, and hence the number of increased incidence of heart attacks were there.
Right. So you're essentially saying that emergency healthcare really has suffered during the pandemic, and I think a lot of people would agree with that assessment. Dr. Nair, what particular care should be taken by people who have diabetes in order to avoid infections? Do they need to be extra cautious? What do they need to do?
As we have seen previously, a diabetic person is not more likely to develop COVID infection. But once an uncontrolled diabetic person develops an infection, it can become more serious. So what the diabetic person should be more careful is to keep his blood sugars under control. For this, he has to take a balanced diabetic diet, do regular exercises, take his regular medicines correctly, and see to it that his insulin is also taken regularly and properly. If his blood sugars are not under control, he should consult his healthcare provider and discuss with him regarding bringing down the blood sugars to the control range. But it is more important that he as well as people in the general public avoid getting infection. For this, they have to follow the standard precautions like social distancing, proper use of mask and hand sanitization. This is equally important for the general public as well as a diabetic person.
Alright, so the same set of precautions in a certain sense need to be taken, and perhaps a few extra precautions if you know that you are indeed in the vulnerable category or more susceptible to such infections. Dr. Shah, the other big question at the moment is about people who have a genetic history of heart attacks or a genetic history of heart disease in the family. What steps should they take to prevent heart disease?
Genetic disease is one of the important reasons why people who have heart attack at younger age. When we compare to the genetic history, Asian Indians are more prone to develop heart attacks, and they have heart attack at younger age, and they have a more severe course of heart attack compared to other people. Why this occurs is because of genetic predisposition of Asian Indians to develop heart attack at early age. Other genetic history which we find regularly is in patients who have strong family history of heart disease. When we say family history of heart disease is when a male member of the family, either brother, father, is suffering from heart attack less than 55 years of age, or your female patient's mother, sister is suffering from heart attack below the age of 65, or both parents are suffering from heart disease, we are more likely to have heart attacks in younger age in this group of individuals. In patients who have strong family history of heart disease, we need to evaluate the patient's cholesterol. If they have diabetic, we need to keep diabetes under control, blood pressure under control. They have to have significant exercise regularly, and these people need regular investigations to look for any coronary heart attack, coronary artery disease in the form of electrocardiogram, stress test periodically to look for any exercise induced heart disease. If there is anything, we need to aggressively treat these patients early.
Dr. Nair, most people are getting a diagnosis of diabetes after getting COVID. People are being diagnosed with diabetes after they've recovered from COVID. Should a person with no symptoms of diabetes also get tested for diabetes in that case? And if yes, how often should one get tested for diabetes?
We do not have enough evidence to say that COVID-19 infection predisposes to diabetes. We have a large population out there who are pre-diabetic or diabetic but still do not know that they have diabetes. These patients may be incidentally picked up during a blood check for any other reason, including COVID infection. But once they are diagnosed as having diabetes, then they should undergo routine test and see to it that blood sugars are well controlled. Initially, they may have to undergo blood test maybe 1 or 2 weeks after the initial diagnosis, and later on, once they are stabilized, then their blood sugars need to be checked every 1 to 3 months to see that their blood sugars are well under control. This is for the diabetic person as well as any person with COVID infection or any other infection who develops diabetes.
Right, very interesting actually to understand this kind of a correlation and how actually more data and more studies do need to be done in this space as well. On that note, we're going to slip into a very short break, but both our expert doctors will continue to be live with us on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Facts versus Myths. We have a panel of expert doctors answering key questions on the management of diabetes and heart disease amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Shah, working from home is a necessity for many till things get completely back to normal. What steps can people take to ensure that they don't put on weight while they're working from home?
Work from home in this pandemic is become a necessity and a requirement. 25 to 50% of the people have gained significant weight during this pandemic. The reasons for weight gain are lack of exercise, overeating, stress. Stress again leads to overeating, alcohol consumption. In order to prevent significant increase of weight, we need to avoid high calorie foods. We need to exercise regularly. Exercise at home, as gyms and parks were closed. We have to start exercising at home. Avoid alcohol consumption, which causes significant increase in weight. Along with that, we have to control other risk factors for heart disease.
Right. Dr. Nayak, what about the correlation between obesity and diabetes? We've seen a lot of patients who do suffer from diabetes are indeed obese. Is there a relationship, a direct relationship between obesity and diabetes?
There is a definite relationship between obesity and diabetes. Most of the obese people are diabetic. But we have to know that there is a lean, thin Indian phenotype wherein the person may be lean and thin, but he may be having a small tummy wherein a lot of fat may be stored, and he may be metabolically obese and have all the complications like diabetes, cholesterol problems, heart disease, etc. So he may be having a normal weight when compared to his height for a European counterpart, but he may be metabolically obese. So in fact, we have to say that all people are predisposed to diabetes, especially Indian people.
All right. Dr. Shah, speaking of heart disease, if a person has normal levels of their lipids and cholesterol is also under control, is that particular person safe from a heart disease? And what are the other factors that can actually leave you vulnerable to a heart attack, or what are some of the predispositions of a heart attack?
Normal lipid profile does not mean that you are immune from heart attack. Lipid profile is one of the risk factors for heart disease, heart attack, especially along with diabetes, hypertension, smoking, tobacco chewing, obesity, family history of heart disease. Lipid profile in all patients with heart attack may not be abnormal. There are different types of, when you say lipid profile, it consists of various components. Various components are either it can have good cholesterol or bad cholesterol. The bad cholesterol components are low density lipoproteins and triglycerides. If they are abnormal, it leads to increased risk of heart attacks. HDL cholesterol is high density lipoprotein cholesterol, which helps to balance or reduce the incidence of heart attacks. When we have balance of both, it is considered as good lipid profiling. Along with that, in Indians, we have some components of lipid profile like lipoprotein A, apoprotein B, which are supposed to be abnormal in predominantly Asian Indians. And these components are, when evaluated, found to have significant increased risk of heart attacks in Asian Indians. In order to reduce the incidence of heart attack, we need to have regular exercise, diet control, reduce the stress, and lipid profiles have to be under control. If lipid profiles are abnormal, we need to start medications regularly, which possibly have to be continued for lifelong.
Right. Dr. Nair, what about type 2 diabetes? Does it go away if blood sugar normalizes, or does one continue to have type 2 diabetes even if your blood sugar normalizes?
In fact, when we make a diagnosis of diabetes, almost 50% of the person's insulin secreting beta cells have lost. From there on, it's a downhill course, which means that his beta cells will go on decreasing. As of now, we do not have much technology to increase the number of beta cells. So that means over time, his beta cells or the insulin production will go on decreasing. But in the meanwhile, he can control his blood sugars with a good, proper diabetic diet, with regular exercises, and so with these things, he can keep his blood sugar under control. But that does not mean that his diabetes has been cured or relieved. That just means that his diabetes is well controlled. So a well controlled diabetes does not mean that he does not have diabetes, and in fact he can tilt to the other side any time when his diet or exercise is actually compromised. So diagnosis of diabetes is a diagnosis for life, and he always has to take care that his blood sugars are controlled.
Right. Dr. Shah, final question to you. Has the pandemic led to more people developing problems like high blood pressure?
High blood pressure, when do you define high blood pressure? High blood pressure means a person's blood pressure, normal systolic blood pressure is 120, diastolic is 80. For systolic blood pressure, you either add plus or 20 or minus 20. If it is less than 100, if it is less than 100 or more than 140, it is abnormal. And diastolic blood pressure is the lower blood pressure, which is 80 plus or minus 10. If it is less than 70 or more than 90, it is abnormal. So if a patient has severe hypertension, it is normally detected only when you regularly measure the blood pressure. Blood pressure symptoms in 95% of the individuals are not there. That is why it takes time to detect hypertension. When you detect hypertension, you have to take treatment regularly so that the blood pressure comes under control. Whenever you go to a doctor, you need to check your blood pressure. In the pandemic, we see lot of people coming with hypertension, especially due to stress, weight gain, lack of exercise. In this subset of people who we advise home blood pressure monitoring, especially who are not able to reach a doctor, especially during peak of pandemic, they need to check the blood pressure at home. Nowadays, a lot of electronic BP apparatus are available where you can measure the blood pressure at home, and if it is abnormal, you need to treat blood pressure to prevent further complications like stroke, eye problems, heart attacks, heart failure, kidney problems.
All right. Well, I think that's extremely important information that the both of you have shared about management of diabetes and heart disease, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. That's all the time we have. Short break. News and updates continue.